Hey, good morning, you guys. How are you? I hope you're doing great. So I am going to start this week doing these lives at about 7 a.m. I got locked out of my computer, so I'm a couple seconds late here, but I'm going to start streaming at 7 a.m. and try it out and see if it works to be able to help people grow their businesses. So, with that being said, the topic of this morning is making offers doesn't have to be hard. So there's two things. There's actually lots of things to think about when making offers, but there's two things I want you to think about today. And then my desire, my coaching, my request of you is to actually go out and test this concept. So I remember when I used to freak out when I would make an offer. I mean, the first time I ever spoke on a stage, I got up, I did this amazing presentation where I gave my entire heart, gave great content, and then when I went to make the offer, I literally did this. I literally went, "Okay, done," and I walked away. Right? And it's like I was afraid. I was afraid of making the offer. I was afraid of people feeling like the only reason why I gave the content was so that I could get something. And there's nothing worse than feeling like a smuck when you go to make an offer. And so if you're conscious or you're someone who cares about people and you really care about your reputation as well, I think offers or making offers can be a place that starts to get really weird for us. So, what do you do to overcome that? So, write this down, write these two things down. Every time I ask somebody about what is it that they're selling, like what's your offer, what typically happens is they start saying things like, if they're a coach, they say things like, well, it's my 6 week program, and I get on the phone with them once a month privately. Like they start talking about these bullets, right? They start talking about these, the structure of their actual product or program, and nobody ever buys that stuff. So I want you never, ever, ever to answer that question again with bullets about the structure of whatever it is that you're selling. So are you hearing me? If you're hearing me, just like say, yes, I'm hearing you, I'm getting it. And you understand what I mean, right? It's like you ask that question, somebody talks about 6 week programs or this, that, and the other. It's like, stop. Like, here's how you sell. First thing is know what is the big promise of your product or your service. Like, what's the point? What's the point in you offering it in the world? Not the point, not the negative point, not the not because you had, I don't know where I'm going with this. Like, when I think there's just so many places my brain's spinning. It's like when I ask somebody what's the point of their product, they're like, oh, because the world needs it. Well, that's just too general. Like, nobody buys what the world needs. People buy what they need. They buy what's important to them. So when you're looking at what's the big promise of your product or your service, it's best if you've already had an audience, an email list, or a place that, like a social platform, even that you have lots of followers, that you can at least get like 40 responses, 30, 40 responses that can tell you what it is that they want. So what I mean is, like, I teach business growth, right? Like, specifically, I teach people how to really never look for buyers again. How do you put your client attraction, formula, funnel, method on autopilot, so it's the most cost effective way to be able to acquire an ideal client that you want? That's really what I do, without Facebook ads, without Instagram ads, without any of that. Although I do all of that too, it's not my most profitable client attraction. So if I was to ask, and I was to create a product or a service, and I'm going to take step one, which is, what is my big promise? And you take, what are you fantastic at? And you go in and you ask the audience, like, so with client attraction, it's like, do you have, so a survey question I might ask is like, do you have, if you needed clients, or you decided that you're going to open up to clients right now, do you have, and you could even answer this so that I can actually do a mini survey, so please just take a moment and even share with me. Can you acquire a client or customer in the next hour that does not require you to do any sort of technology? But the question might be, can you acquire a customer in the next hour and make at least $10,000 in the next hour? If the answer is yes, post yes. If the answer is no, post no. So that is a survey question. If I wanted to go, and I'd love you to do that actually. If you, another survey question might be, um, say you have a relationship product. You want to you want to think, well, what's your big promise in your relationship product based on what you can achieve for someone, not something that you've necessarily learned from somebody else. What's something that you have a long history in your industry or in your product that you're selling? What's something that you have a long history in that you can make an offer with, and then you literally say, what would be my big promise? So say you're a relationship person, you might say, you don't want to be general, like just relationships. It's like, what about relationships? Like, are you really good at like attracting a high quality, boyfriend, partner, husband? Or are you really good at creating a really like sexy, amazing marriage that you're totally fulfilled and your partner's totally fulfilled it? Then you take that niche. It's like creating a super niche. You create that niche within a category, like love is a category, or relationships is a category, God is a category, business is a category, fitness is a category. You take your super niche, that which is just the thing. It's just the thing that you're really good at in that niche. And you start asking questions to your ideal client base. And this is why it's better if you have an audience, but if you don't, then you need to guess. Hate to say that, but you're going to need to guess and test, guess and test. But if you have an audience, you can get into making money so much quicker. Sorry about that. Cuddles. So if you have the database or the follower, you could ask. So basically, what you do is you go, what's the super niche in my category, and which is just the thing that you're really good at, and you say, well, what's the thing I'm really good at? What's the big thing that I could actually promise that I could create the result? So you need to start with that point first, right? So men drive to points. It's great. Ladies, you get to drive to points when it comes to building a business. You don't want to be esoteric and like what breaks my heart is when I hear things like, well, when I sit down with someone, they get the value and they pretty much buy. Well, the problem with that is that eventually you want to automate things so that you can turn on a webinar or you can turn something on and you can evergreen it so that it can sell for you, or at least it could lead gen the right audience for you. And that's never going to happen unless you can talk to enough people in about 15 to 20 minutes and be able to attain a high-end $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, investment. Somebody's willing to do that within 20, 25 minutes of knowing you for the first time. I know that might sound crazy, but it's not crazy when you can speak in this language. And so the first step is what is your big promise? And that comes from your super niche in your category of what is it that you even can promise that you can get an exact result for someone. If you have an audience, you literally ask the audience detailed questions like, for me, for instance, with the business coaching, it's like, you know, um, can you attain a $10,000 client in the next hour? Do you have the ability to find that client, right? Can you find a client that would say yes to you in the next 1 hour and that would invest $10,000 with you? Can you find that client in the next hour? And I could say multiple choice question. A, yes, I can, without a doubt. B, no, I can't. I have no idea where to start. C, um, I, uh, I can through my social media platforms, yes, and I do it all the time. Or I can through my email list because it's highly targeted, and I do that all the time. Like I could actually put some specifics in a multiple choice so that I can glean more information from my audience so that I'm not shooting in the dark. I hate general. General makes me work too hard, and I like to take off I took off 5.5 months last year, where I was traveling and enjoying my life while I was still enjoying my business, because I don't resent my business because I have all this flex time in my life. So I don't like general throw spaghetti up against the wall type marketing. I really like marketing that lands, not only for me, but also for our ideal client, which means that our ideal client and your ideal client knows that you're the person for them. So doesn't it feel good to just be able to make a decision and not sit in limbo? And that's what good marketing does for people. It actually helps people raise their hand to work with you that knows, you're the ideal person for them, which is, I think, a blessing because indecisiveness sucks. So number one is you need to know what the big promise is. Number two is that you need to sell the transformation. So again, don't ever answer someone when they ask you, even your coach, when your coach asks you, when anybody asks you what your product, your program is, don't start saying 6 week this, 8 week program. Don't do that. Sell the transformation. So I can always tell when a client is focused on money versus focused on transforming someone's life. Because when I start asking them business questions, they literally start talking tactics, or they literally start talking money, right? And money, the equivalent money is saying, I have a 8 week program. I have, I meet with my clients once a week. Like, none of that says anything about what the heck you're doing in the world. And therefore, somebody can't say yes to you with that type of focus. And a coach can't really coach you from that type of focus because everybody has those details, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to now sell the transformation. So when someone asks you about your product, your service, in order for you to sell the transformation, you have to know, will it land with the person, right? So will it land with the person? Even when I'm working with my coach, I literally think about my client, and I share my question from a place of transforming my client's life so that my coach can give me good coaching. I'll say that again. When you're talking about your products and services, you are always selling, even when you're working with your business coach. And if you don't have a business coach, direct message me because you should have a business coach. So you want to always share details as if you're selling to your client, which means that you cannot sell an eight-week program or product to your client. You cannot sell a pair of Lululemon leggings or Spank leggings to your client. You sell the transformation. I love my Spanx leggings because they make my butt look tight and my legs look slim, and it looks like I've been working out like crazy when I wear it. I'm selling the transformation. So that would be like, ladies, you have to go get a pair of Spanx because you will feel amazing, like you've been working out like crazy. Even if you haven't, you will look amazing in Spanx leggings. I have never had a pair of leggings that make me look so good in my entire life. Notice there's nothing that I just said about the material of the leggings, how much the leggings are. Nobody cares how much the leggings are at this point. All they care is that they want to know how to get it. So hopefully I'm articulating that when you're selling your products or services, sell the transformation. Don't sell the product. Don't sell the content of the product. Don't sell the material, the details. Nobody cares about that. They want the transformation. However, if you don't know what's important to the person in front of you, this is why the big promise in step one, connected with actually surveying, really helps you create like huge quantum leaps in your business growth if you actually know those together. So step one, does this help? Is this helping? Am I landing with you guys? Just let me know in the comments if this is helping so that I can actually know that this is making a difference for you, because I'm going to start streaming at 7 a.m. in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. And it helps for me to know that this is helping because I don't want to get up and do it if it's not helping. Okay. So, and it would be great. Thank you. It would be great if you can also tell me what's landing for you. Like, what is landing for you right now? What's like sinking in that you're getting that's going to actually help you create a better result in making offers. So to end this segment, step one is know your big promise. In other words, what's the point in selling this product for somebody else, not for you, for somebody else? I really believe that if people start leading with generosity, they will sell more, because when the focus is on you getting, you don't do good marketing, you don't do good sales, you don't do good business. So if we focus out there and the big promise now becomes about them, like what's the point in them buying this product or service? And then the second step is sell the transformation. And if you do that, I promise you, I would love you to go like put this into action today. But I promise you, you're going to have a shift in your ability to sell. And then you'll start messaging me and saying things in my DM, in my direct messaging. You're going to start saying, I love to sell now. I love to sell. So here's what I'd love you to do. In the next hour, because if you wait, you're going to find that this dilutes. In the next hour, literally go practice this with someone. So you can practice it with your husband, your wife. Like I could think, I just did it with my son. So my husband is partnering with me. So he's showering our son this morning. He's actually giving him a bath. And in the mornings, my son wants me. So how do I redirect my son to go what's in a direction that's best for him and best for me? My husband is like, okay, he wants his mom this morning. And I'm like, no, okay, what's the big promise? Well, the big promise is that the point is that my son really he got this new electronic little speedboat, and he's been wanting to test it out in the bath. So immediately I was like, okay, the big promise is that he could have a lot of fun this morning. Instead of hugging me, he could have a lot of fun this morning playing with his little electric boat in the bathtub. And the transformation really is the fun. So my son comes running down. He's hugging me in my closet while I'm getting dressed for you. He's hugging me and he's doing the full mommy guilt mode, like, mommy, I want you. And so all I have to do is go, okay, the point is getting him in the bath with this electric, his new electronic speedboat. And the point of transformation is how much fun he's going to have. So I looked at him. I said, Zach, I said, guess what? Daddy has your electric boat and he's in the bathroom with it. And he's going to put it in the shower, in the bath, so you can have so much fun driving it into the side of the bathtub. He was up and out of my arms within seconds, running. And I wish I would have gotten a video. He was running to the offer. Now you can have your people running to the offer if you actually speak in the language that they want you to speak in, and you speak to the point that's important to them, and you sell the transformation. And if you were to just do that in the next hour, I promise you, you will not have to work so hard to be able to sell. And guess what? People will not have to work so hard in making a decision to work with you. Let's be honest, being decisive is tough, but money loves speed. And so if you can actually create this in the next hour, I think that you're going to have a really big smile on your face after the hour. You're at least going to get much closer than you are now to be able to make offers quicker. So my challenge to you, my daily challenge to you is in the next hour, I want you to find a way to make an offer. Find a way to make an offer. All right, you guys, I hope this was valuable. I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye.